Hello, Gamma Group. Thank you for your presentation. I want to give you just a little bit of feedback. I had a chance to take a look at it earlier, and now I'm just kind of going to go through that plus your kind of worksheet and give you some feedback so you can consider making some changes or improvements if you should choose. Otherwise, you should be fine for Wednesday. You can post it up Wednesday before your presentation, and then the class can go ahead and take care of doing their papers for next week. And then, of course, all the members in the group can do their peer/group review forms and submit them for next week's assignment as well. Let's start. Gamma Group. What is research and why is it important to understand the implications of actions using scientific and technological knowledge? Okay. Interesting logo. I wanted to see if there's any activity or something on that, but I guess you just used the symbol. So, next slide. Good bullet points. Again, just my only thing about that is nice visual for background, not some additional pictures or something that can kind of help with that. So let's see. I'm assuming if you were actually connected to the internet when you do this presentation, you will actually have a chance to click on the links and they'll go someplace. So it helps. Search for knowledge, systematic investigation. I like the fact that it is brief. They're bullet points, and hopefully as a group you can explain more to them. Or if you but for your presentation, it should be fine. Let's see. What is research part 2? Wasn't quite sure what you meant by that, but additional definitions, I guess, for lack of a better term. Practical application of such new or revised theories or laws. Okay, fair enough. Again, I'm looking for more detailed definition when you're actually describing it. Part 3, collecting of information about a particular subject, communicating the understanding to others. Okay. Simple enough. And then that's pretty much it. I was hoping that you would give some examples. I was hoping that you would maybe walk us through what research is or a process or something, but it's kind of limited at that point. You just kind of go through those 3 slides and that's it. So I would think that there may be some more detail. Perhaps you're going to show some examples or go through something or show some of the pictures or visuals inside your presentation in class. We'll see. Otherwise, that's what it lacks so far. Those 3 slides, they're bullet point, they're good, but they don't give you any samples, examples, or some method for people to kind of really integrate that into their understanding and knowledge. So the next part is the second part of the presentation, which you answer why is it important to understand the implications of actions using scientific and technological knowledge. Now, the only thing about this is you asked me the question. I expected for you to kind of come up with an answer, and we'll see what your answer looks like. You're just kind of putting the statement out there. So you start off by saying what is science, and that's something we covered in class, so I recognize the definitions. Then you go off and define what is technology, again. Definitions we covered in class, like week 2. And then what is technology part 2, a little bit more expanded. At this point, I still don't see quite examples. I see references, if anything, requires form and purpose and specific human activity. References, not really understanding. So I think the definitions are kind of high level and they're not necessarily practical or everyday. So some of your classmates may be a bit confused about it if you don't expand upon it or expound upon it when you're doing your presentation. Then you go straight to implications of actions. Greater emphasis given to social sciences compared to the natural sciences and engineering. Oh, you lost me there. I wasn't quite sure what you were trying to go after. The next one, different particular projects in any field would be emphasized. Research would be more responsive to a wide range of community interests rather than mainly to the interests of military and state bureaucracies. Okay, I like that last bullet point. I think that can lead to some conversation examples. People are going to figure out, going to ask the question, well, why is it important? Where does that come from? Why would you say that? Give some examples of that. So the first 2, I'm not real sure. It's like you took them straight off a definition, and hopefully you'll give more explanation to those. So I'm not sure if that's connected. But the third bullet point, for sure, I thought this was a good one. And it leaves you some room for open door discussion with your classmates. Examples. Math can cure leukemia. Purchasing a car. Education. I'm going to assume again that these 3 are talking points, that you can speak to them. Perhaps you may want to put them each on separate slides and handle each one with bullet points underneath in order to really help your classmates and your peers understand and get that knowledge indoctrinated into their memory. So we'll see where you go with that. But right now, if it's just solely based off the presentation, it's kind of limited. And then your conclusions. Research originates with a question or problem. Good. Science analyzes information to increase understanding of phenomena under study. Okay. Technology develops methods and systems for advancement. Okay. I didn't really see too much of those references in the beginning, but those are good conclusions to summarize it. And science and technology make the connection between the existence of social interests and developments in science or technology that seem to respond to or serve that social interest. That's a thick sentence. You would probably need to break that down a little bit more. I understand it. I'm sure others in the class will understand it. There may be some that will come away with a kind of a question mark on their face. So, and then it's good that you provide your links. And then you give the presentation presenters. That's good. And then it's over. So I think you're kind of lacking. Oh, I should call one more item and say I think I did get your presentation. Oh, that didn't work. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can find it. Yes, your presentation's pretty okay. I'm assuming this is some interactive activity, at least it appeared it was, but not for when I was able to do it. So you have the answers, and hopefully you'll expound upon all of these examples when you're going through class. So perhaps that will help a little bit more. I don't know if it was an active quiz or not, so I can play around with that a little bit later. But if you can't, if it's not part of your PowerPoint presentation, it may not be as effective, so make sure that you test it before you do it. I don't want to play with it here. I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. So that's about it for right now. I'm looking forward to your presentation. And let's see what goes with that. Take my suggestions if you like. Not a bad presentation. I think you could probably use a couple more examples and defined examples. Take off some of the thickness on the top, and then you should be okay. Make sure that all of you are very interactive in the presentation. Don't let one person lead it. Remember, I may be video recording you, so make sure that you focus into the camera. And I think that's primarily it. Have a great one. Good luck in your presentation on Wednesday. Take my comments accordingly. Otherwise, we'll see what happens. You will have, once you make your updates, you send it back to me. Feel free to post it in the space on the group website, and you should be okay. Have a great one, everyone. Good night.